Hey guys, Longermire here. I'm gonna make a brief video here. So MRG the Killer has made an accusation that L Joker 40 is cheating, specifically using a mouse and keyboard on Xbox, um, which is not enabled on Battlefield 1 in terms of the default game. You would need some sort of an external device in order to play that way. So let's look at the clip real quick, and then I'll explain the accusations and what's going on. Okay, so having watched that, to me, there's nothing unusual about that clip at all. Um, the movements and the MRG describes the movement as like rapid back and forth. Um, any player that I have my hipfire sensitivity set to 100%. Lots of good players I know play that way. Some of them play it a bit lower. Some of them play it like I do at 100%. Joker here obviously has his ADS sensitivity also increased compared to mine at least. But there's nothing unusual in any of his movements or the ability he's able to pan left and right, or just in general in the way he's moving. He's zigzagging like that for a couple reasons. One is obviously to take in more of what's going on around you, see enemies, to get a wider field of view. Like that's why you would move like that. And also to just physically zigzag on the map, right? Like he wants to be harder to hit. And so changing those quick changes in direction, the sliding that you see, the jumping, all of those things are things that players do every day just when playing Battlefield 1. Um, I don't, as far as like any kind of input lag, I don't know what specific device he's accusing Joker of using, or like what that input lag would look like. Even standard Xbox controllers have a certain amount of input lag based on the refresh rate. So you can look up detailed like technical breakdowns of controllers and like what the input lags are for various ones, but you're talking about milliseconds. And as far as like additional lag created by a device, um, I don't even know like what that what that would. I don't even like you're learning to compensate for it. You would learn to compensate for it in the same way that every player compensates for it with their controller. So I don't understand what we're supposed to be looking at or what he thinks he's seeing. I guess my understanding is just that I think he's saying that the movement in general is too quick and too jerky. But there's nothing unusual to me about that movement at all. Um, it's the other thing is he accuses Joker. He says it's because Joker types too quickly. There's nothing like against the rules about using a keyboard or a phone to type, and there's no evidence that that's not what he's doing. So I mean, you could just like if I have to type out a longer message, I'll often pull up the Xbox app on my computer. I've played with a laptop next to my computer before. I've played with just one monitor set up with the Xbox chat. There's nothing unusual about that at all. It just depends on where his Xbox is in his house, you know. And the other thing is also um, you could use your cell phone to type relatively quickly too. Um, he mentions that he just likes to mute himself because um, so you don't hear the mouse and keyboard clacking. I can confirm Joker's explanation that English isn't his first language and so he prefers to type. I've spoken with Joker, not for any extended period of time, but long enough to hear that he does have a clear accent. And lots of people choose to remain muted in parties for all sorts of reasons. So there's really nothing there. The one other thing he says is that Joker deleted the VODs. So you can't go watch the VODs because this came, in the way he put it, is came to light as if he'd like hidden the VODs. On Twitch at least, and I'm not sure if that's the platform he's referencing here, but on Twitch at least, you can if you're if you have Amazon Prime and you have your Amazon Prime account connected, you can store the VODs for 60 days. If you are not a if you're not a Amazon Prime subscriber, then the VODs only store for a week. So unless you go back and make a highlight from your stream or some other compilation that will stay on Twitch, unless you do that, the VODs of your streams just naturally get deleted. And I'm sure, absent any like evidence to the contrary, I'm sure that that's what happened. Like I'm sure it expired after the 7 days or the 60 days. Um, but I don't know why you would even hide this footage. There's nothing unusual about this footage. His accuracy isn't unusual. Like I've seen lots of players that could have done these exact same movements. Some of it just depends on your field of view settings, your sensitivity settings, and like your stick aiming acceleration, your center dead zone. Like these detailed controller settings that players just often vary. So you could do a frame by frame breakdown of the original clip if I had a high quality version of it. But the only telltale sign the only difference would be a very slight delay with a controller when you're switching directions, when you're going from panning right to panning left. That would be the only potentially visible difference in terms of gameplay. The only real way to know if somebody is cheating or is using mouse and keyboard, in my opinion, is if they audibly admit to you that they are doing it or have done it, or if you have somehow footage of their hands while they're playing and there's telltale signs, or like audio of the gameplay. But MRG the Killer doesn't have audio of Joker using mouse and keyboard. He doesn't have audio of clicks. All that he has is like game footage, which to me looks ordinary, and baseless accusations. So I thought I'd address that. And I mean, you go and test it yourselves. Like go into an empty lobby and set your sensitivity to 100% and play around with some of those controller settings. And you'll be able to very easily replicate movements that look exactly like this. Any like weird lag you're seeing, like I can't tell if the video's been modified. I don't know if the VOD, like in terms of both the video quality and in terms of the frame rate, I have no way of knowing what actual quality came through. I don't know what kind of lag was both in the server, like I don't know what kind of lag Joker's dealing with in your average US lobby. And I also don't know what kind of lag happens in terms of the VOD itself, right? Like the internet connection between Joker and Twitch, right? So there's no like any lag or like strangeness in the movement you're seeing can be due to like any of those factors. It could also be due to just loading glitches, which are extremely prevalent in Battlefield. So I don't personally see anything strange with the gameplay, and I don't like yeah, I really, um, having watched PC players and watched Xbox players, I don't think that there's anything in this video that um, strikes me as being a cheater or someone who's using mouse and keyboard on Xbox. So I mean, tell me if you agree. Feel free to leave a comment, and I just thought I'd put out my initial reaction. I'd love to, if I can get the original footage, I'd love to do a more detailed breakdown of the video itself. I'd like to take a look and see if, when you go frame by frame, if you can identify pauses when he's looking from right to left. Those pauses would, I mean, I don't think you'd be able to tell 100%, but there'd potentially be a few frames where when you're moving the stick from left to right, where it goes through that center dead zone. And so, I mean, there's potentially a few frames where he pauses or slows down, which would look different than if you were using a mouse and keyboard. But in the video, as far as me just watching it, it does look like and I'll play it again so you can see. But it does look like there are, when he's looking left to right, watch for when he changes direction. I think you'll see brief pauses where it's still in between switching directions. So let's watch him when he does rapid movements. There were a few flicks there. There's a few flicks here. All those movements. I mean, all those movements. I first off, I see him pausing at the end of the movement. Those pauses are totally consistent with the joystick, in my opinion. Um, I don't think that. And in terms of the movement here, like the zigzagging, that's something that every player would want to do to avoid being hit. And same goes for also like I said, spotting enemies. So I don't find this compelling. Um, and yeah, I think that I don't know. I mean, I'll let you form your own judgments about MRG the Killer and about Joker in general. But to me, this video is just a player throwing out baseless accusations to try and, you know, gain increased notoriety. I'd encourage you to just draw your own conclusions. And anyways, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and I'll leave you guys to it.